Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War with our Axis playthrough. In the last episode, we took on the Soviet front from top to bottom. And that took a while, and it's probably going to keep taking a while because it's a gigantic front that's opened up. But we have more stuff to do this turn here in May before we go into June, or maybe the end of May. I don't know, the turns, it's like a week each, I don't know. But let's look at Japan, which has a lot of things to do, including the deployment of more special forces as we get near the opening of the Pacific Front, which is going to happen. It's, oh my god, look how many things we have to deploy. Holy shit. Alright, a sub is simple. Let's start with a sub. That seems pretty fucking simple. Put that bitch ass right there. Thank you very much. Can't deploy that one due to location issues. Okay. Interesting spot for a not fully up to strength special forces to start, but sure. And here's another one. Wow, they're really all just going out in the islands at the very start. It's quite interesting. They kind of take care of getting you the special forces needed to pull off all the invasions, guaranteed for free. They don't make it part of the balancing. I experienced being invaded by these kinds of things when I played as... Oh, look at that. When I played as the Allies. And now I can kind of see it as this deploys straight in Hiroshima. This fucking HQ that I don't know what to do with. It's rating 7. Reminds me, I need to swap the ratings here. Alright, I already put this to rating 8. This rating 5 needs to become rating 8. Take my last max rating 1. Because that'll go to rating 9 as well. Once this is better, once this research is done, that's going to be a lot of money. So, hey, there's a Chinese HQ right there. Okay, is that everything? No. Oh, no, special forces for Hiroshima as well. I guess we'll just put that next to Hiroshima. What's supply like? Okay, it's 11 on either side, so there's really no difference. You just need to be next to a port to use it. Fuck, come on. Another one for Hiroshima. Oh my god. Don't really have many options. You go right there. I hope there's supply there. Oh, and an army! Dude, an entire fucking everything is spawning at Hiroshima. Holy shit. And we have the first air army fighters, which are gonna go over here. What's this? What are all these? Alright, these are attack bombers that were already in the queue. These are maritime bombers that were already in the queue, and I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with these. I'm really not sure. I know something here has to go, because there's we got another HQ here, rating 7, and we have another special forces to deploy, 2 special forces. This is guaranteed that all this stuff is for here. I don't know what to do with this HQ. Where do you want me to put this? Like the DEI? You want this to go into China? Like, where is this intended to go? The Homa HQ. I have an idea where this one's intended to go, and I don't think it even needs to be there. I'm tempted to just put all these HQs into China, to be honest. For now, let's just vacate this core, 24 MPPs only. Get it over here, is where I'm gonna put it. Yeah. Drop it down, and it's not gonna be able to really reinforce or anything. I'm gonna get it moving to right here so it could just step on Hong Kong when that time comes. So it's just gonna mosey its way over there. It won't really have a lot of supply or anything. I don't think we're necessarily short on HQs, but I don't know, we could end up that way. I'm really uncertain how to use a lot of these HQs that have popped into existence. Let's take these special forces, put them on Tainan. They're forming around Taipei. Naha, yeah, Naha I also don't know what to do with. I guess it makes sense that that goes at the port. But I want to upgrade this. And I can't swap when I spawn something in. And I also just don't know what to do with maritime bombers still. Alright, so I'm thinking, right? So when I looked at the maritime bomber, I was thinking the Pacific. But for reasons that I explained in the previous episode, that's difficult to do. But now I just thought of something different. The Brits, right? Because the Brits are going to be drawn into this. We're going to be taking all this. This is the perfect place for the maritime bomber. A DEI, Indochina, all of this is actually perfect. Because this is where the British Indian fleet would operate. Maybe more than that, since they have a whole fleet in the Mediterranean that went to Africa for a little bit. This is where it would try to pass through. So, let's just... You can't, there's no faster movement, but we'll just move it down by Hong Kong for now. And we'll start sending it towards, like, Haikou. It couldn't spawn there anyway, because that's China. So, it's gonna get moving over there. It's, like, the best place I can put it for right now until we take Indochina, which is probably gonna be soon, I imagine. And so, then we could take Naha, place it down. These fighters, I actually paid for myself, because I thought it would be good if this frontline medium bomber, tactical bomber duo, and now another tactical bomber had more than one escort. So we can't deploy it up at the front, so we'll deploy it over here at Seoul, just for now. This tactical bomber would be very smart to get upgraded. Maybe not with naval weaponry, doesn't really need that, but ground attack weapons, certainly. Long range aircraft, certainly. Sure, let's get that upgraded. Like I said, it's a given, we need to get this upgraded. So we are gonna replace this HQ's leader. 105 MPPs, that is so much money, but it's done. Rating 8, all in the most important points of our assault. And rating 8, perfect coincidence. Rating 7, 6, that's not really worth replacing with a 7. It could be, but this front, I don't know, I don't think it's important enough. Rating 7, rating 7. We could have everybody rating 7 or up with the current skill. So that alone could make it worth it if I just had another 105 MPPs to throw around or whatever. So I'm looking over this front. Supply is abysmal. We can't surround Chongqing in the hills because, well, number one, the front's too narrow. And then number two, supply's not good enough. Even with this HQ upgraded, like, I don't know that that's going to make a big difference in the supply. We're at 4 right here, and this guy's so just like, he can't even move, dude. He'd have to swap to get anywhere meaningful this turn due to the nature of these hills. The front's not this wide. The pushes have to be somehow along the road, meaning our best chance to take Chongqing is actually probably to surround it. Meaning, we probably don't have to rush down the center. Could we eat away at the center? You know, probably with coordinated air assistance and the focus of just several armies swapping back and forth. We could probably break through here along the road, but it wouldn't be easy. And knowing China, it also just might not be enough. China's one of those countries that in real life and probably in game, at least nationalist China, would probably fight you like up here. Yeah, they even have it as a mechanic in the game. These are alternate capitals. These are alternate capitals they have. So not only do you have to get rid of alternate capital points that they have, like these, you have to get rid of their actual capital. Now, there's probably a chance for them to surrender before that. Like Bordeaux. I don't think we owned Bordeaux and the French still surrendered. I think that was also kind of a mechanic. I don't know. But China, I expect, will be as stubborn as possible. So we'll need to push, more importantly, everything else. So Chongqing is kind of like a done deal. Basically, we don't need to focus it. We need to block it, maybe offer something up front here to be like, yo, dog, we have a presence here. But these armies, for example, can just cycle down here and join this to make a bigger assault along with like all these. And then, of course, there's all the armies that can keep pushing through Xi'an and, hell, taking Yunnan and pushing to Lanchao and whatnot. However, they're all facing difficulties. What I have in the south is really not that well off, and it's facing down massive fortifications, tons of Chinese units, but most of them cores. The armies are here, defending these points. And up here is facing a problem. We have all these armies stacked up and ready to push, but they're facing down a very elite army standing on Xi'an, and the incoming communists, those bitch asses, man. Not to mention there's all this stuff up here, but if you kind of like cut those off, you can encircle them, wipe them out real quick probably. I forget where it is. There's somewhere on this map, I think probably by like Lanchao or something, where armies of theirs that they lose reform for free as well after enough time. Only as China. And I forget, I don't think it's at full strength. The first thing I'll do is start with some potentially not favorable trades down south. We're going to attack over here in Nanning again. Kill 2, lose 1, just as the game insinuated would happen. Kill 2, lose none, just as promised. Kill 1, lose 1. That didn't go too well. But this is down to 5, this core. I very well could step off of Canton and then swap this army in, but without this core here to step on Canton first, that's probably not the greatest idea. Did some good damage though. If we could just deal enough damage elsewhere, maybe they won't reinforce. I mean, we're stretching them more than thin for troops already. We just have to pick north or south. There's only one way I can focus all of this, well, air power. I think I want to break through in Xi'an first, because we just have a lot of armies here that are already ready and stacked up. The south, they have, well, it's not that they have more troops, it's just I have less troops. So if I focus anywhere, I think I'm gonna make it this core in Xi'an. And plus, we have so much stuff we can focus on here. If we take the Reds out, that's less money going into China's pocket. Important, especially including taking Xi'an. Maybe not as important, and I don't think Changsha is as important right now. I also don't think it's as easy for them to hold, but taking it also doesn't do me massive wonders. Not until, I guess, if the hump isn't already going, because what's the hump? The hump is like from here into Kunming, right? It's something like that. Okay, I looked it up, yes. Once we take Burma, they can send supplies in via the hump, which is airlifts. How are they getting supplies in now? I never lost the Hanoi Kunming Railroad, so I don't remember how you replace it. I know there's the hump, and then there's something else. There's like some sort of foot deliveries, and I don't remember what they are. Oh right, I don't know how I forgot this. The fucking Burma Road, bro. That's why Burma has to fall. It's the Burma Road. Kunming is important to that too. Rangoon, Mandalay, and Laishou. So this road, this is where supplies are coming through now, probably. Yeah, 60 MPPs a turn for as long as all of these are held. God, 60 a turn. Cost of accepting 175 MPPs at 35 a turn for 5 turns. So they're paying again, but it's not like permanent. They don't keep paying. Unlike with the airlifts, I believe the airlifts are different. Yeah, once you get to the hump, America's just paying 60 a turn to maintain giving them 60 a turn. I also don't know if... I think the hump might work alongside the Burma Road. No, because Burma has to fall. So it's like a last resort that costs them the most. So taking Kunming is important. Sure. So pushing in the south could be important. Pushing in the north could also be important because, you know, the Reds are up here. Oh, it's so hard to decide. Especially because I'm so better posed to deal damage up here. 60 a turn. Can I wipe out more than 60 a turn to make it worth it? Well, I'm going to get a chance to wipe out the Burma Road anyway. That's why it's Burma Falls and not Kunming necessarily. Because Indochina will be annexed by us. This will happen. And then I believe after it happens, there will be a constant 50% chance per turn that Thailand just willingly joins us. And then we can get their units too. We have this railroad that leads down here. Yes? Yeah, so hard to see. And then brings us into this region, where we can take over Malaya and Singapore, and also push into Rangoon. The moment we take Rangoon, the Burma Road is done. We take Burma, and the hump begins. America can spend 60 MPPs a turn pouring that into China. That's 60 less for America, but it's still just, you know, it's better. We're going to get an opportunity to close the Burma Road that does not involve pushing in the south. And it's going to be, I think, a pretty easy way. Because I have plenty of troops over here anyway, where we could just rail them down in case we don't get more. Anyhow, what would be tough is taking troops from the north, just because the railroad doesn't connect unless we claim Changsha. So that could be a good thing. Taking Changsha could be good because it allows me to get troops down to Rangoon sooner. But I already have these armies. I already have, yeah, like another army here. And this core, and we are pushing in a way. Just not that fast. And the thing is, Thailand's gonna join me for free. Meaning I can purchase their units, spawn them here, and then fight through Burma with their units, right? And so that's a thing in itself. I don't know. Taking Changsha at least seems valuable because of this railroad. This railroad really helps me secure this area. Not just this area. If I get this railroad, I can just ship units all the way down from fucking Korea down to Thailand if I wanted to. This railroad doesn't help the Chinese, which is why I'm like undervaluing it. I'm just like looking at where I could push. But this railroad would actually really help me. I'm already starting to secure it down here. And this is easy to overwhelm. This is the harder part to overwhelm, I guess. Oh, but I can only support one front at once. So does that mean that I just have to leave Xi'an open? I'm spending a lot of time just thinking out loud. Progress can be made up north, but it's going to be a trade. I'll point the air to the south for now. Changsha is very important. Huichao, not as much, but it would open up another front to Chongqing. Getting Kunming would be great because that could close the hump, sure. It wouldn't help me eliminate China faster by getting important things out of the way, but it's still important in itself, so I think I'm going to shift focus. Now that the path to Chongqing is open, we're going to shift focus down to Changsha. Yeah. Let's start with the medium bombers. I don't think it really matters which one of these I go for first. Everything here has to die. Let's start with the one that's like most surrounded and easiest to beat up. Okay, lowered the fuck out of its morale, but we're gonna go all in. Alright, we dealt some damage. Took no damage. That's great. This can get more elite reinforcements. That's hilarious. The fighter didn't have to do anything because the enemy fighter's back here, only guarding this front. Let's get some elite reinforcements for these fighters. 116 MPPs. We're not actually going to have a lot to work with at the end of it. So hopefully I wasn't planning on buying anything. Because I'm already spending so much on like HQs and etc, etc. Getting units set up. So now we can go after this. This army is still at infantry weapons level 1. So it's going to attack first. 3 damage dealt. It was not supposed to deal that much, so that makes me pretty happy. I could swap it in or out with one of these armies. How much movement points do you have? 3, 3. I'm going to try starting with just what's around. So let's take this core next. 3 damage. Wow, we're getting some great rolls. I guess we'll just follow up with this core then. Ugh, only 2 damage. We're supposed to deal 3. We took 1. I guess the good rolls had to end eventually, right? So I know if I move this core instead of swapping, I'll lose all my entrenchment. I know that's a thing. However, I also know that someone pointed out in the comments that when you swap, you lose a lot of morale. So maybe swapping like here, for example, isn't necessarily worth it right now. There's other benefits to swapping, but what I'm thinking right now is what if I just move this core back here? I move this army up here. It looks like it can move up there, does it not? And then I just finish this off with this army, and then I have all these armies on this front. I think it's worth a shot, so let's do that. Let's back this up, move this up, finish you off. Got some XP from that. Nice. It's dead. And now I can only really get one of these to the front right now. Actually, only this one. The second Kwantung army. Guess you're not going with the first one. So, come down here. We are now in their fortifications. We've pushed them back. I don't think they have fortifications on this city. No, they don't, but they're entrenched level 3, and I'm relying on a blitz attack if I attack any further. But we have moved up, which is at least good. Now that the front is expanding, I'm going to take this core, and I'm going to move it down south, kind of start an encirclement, because we can shift units in this direction. We want to get as many troops as close as possible for the next turn, so yes, let's move the 3rd army just over here for now. It'll get some upgrades the moment it gets the chance. The North Chinese Front Army is no longer in the north. It's coming down here to join the south, as we get a nice, good front lined up here to batter around. Next turn, they're going to deal some real damage. Just wait till I get these other tactical bombers over here and another fighter to keep an eye on them. That'll be handy. I could go for elite reinforcements here, but I don't think I want to or need to at the moment. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to push up north. Not because I'm planning on attacking right now. I want to get entrenchments digging. Maybe I can bait them into attacking me and my superior weapons. I want to extend my zone of control and try to negate theirs. That's still not enough to move onto this hex. This mountain is so hard to run on. Not even this core with 3 action points can get there. I'd have to like go around and up the road. What the fuck? This core can get here, and then I could maybe use that for a swap. I really don't want to trade equal blows with this army on CN, but this is a very limited front, and I have a lot of units available to take advantage of it. And due to my lack of needing to really fight heavily on the Pacific front in the long term, I think it's worth it even without the air support. Because the air support can only really be fully pointed one way. And that's going to be down here. I don't have Arty. I don't have the money to make putting into Arty worth it. So I think just kind of paying off for some reinforcements, because let's look at this army at 9. Reinforce, 14 MPPs per MPP, like per unit lost. It's not that big a deal, excluding elite reinforcements. But this 10 strength regional army with a prepared attack could attack this fully entrenched 15th army with 2 XP, 12 strength, and trade equal blows. That says a lot about our technological advantage over them. And then if I just swap in, I get 2 attacks. And then I also get pretty apt chances to heal. They could try some swapping too, but I'm always going to have the tech advantage. As opposed to down here where I could not deal any damage if I had wanted to, I can actually deal damage here because it's not fortified, it's just hard to get through. So we're going to do that. We're going to trade equal blows. We're already kind of trading equal blows based on losing like a part of an army to a core. It's not exactly equal. We kind of did very well this turn compared to the last one, but still, I think the aggressiveness will be worth it. We dealt 1 damage and we took 1. We were supposed to deal 2, take 2, so I guess that's not exactly a terrible result. So here's where I'd probably want to swap instead of moving. Sure, I might lose some morale, but 3 entrenchment would suck to lose, and I don't think I'd lose all of it if I just swap. If I move, I know I will lose it. So I should swap. And I think it makes most sense. So what is the supply situation here? We don't want to end you on 5 supply, and you're not going to have 6 if you need a heal. You got to end on the road somewhere. So we'll just have you swap here. You know, that morale hit really wasn't as bad as I thought, and yeah, I only lose 1 entrenchment, so I get to go into the next turn with 2 entrenchment. So this is now a blitz attack with a slightly stronger unit, and we're still trading equal blows. I think that's pretty good. 2 damage dealt, 2 damage taken. Yeah, for what we're dealing with and what we're doing, I think these are fairly equal blows. They won't be able to get this up to elite reinforcements again. Not right now. They won't be able to do that. That's not in the realm of their possibilities. I'm going to take this core, I'm going to move it over here. Not for the purpose of keeping this core here. I'm actually going to use it as an excuse to get this army out of here. This is a very elite army that I kind of want to shore up this front. It's just to get it out, otherwise it would have had to take a very long roundabout ways around. So I actually want this on the front. So I'm going to swap again. Yeah, morale hit, blah, blah, whatever. I have a 13 strength unit on the front. It can start entrenching, and this will give this one the opportunity to get elite reinforcements. This core does not matter as much. Using it logistically is a purpose that I'm quite happy to have it serve. Then, given the lack of movement capability around here, this core doesn't have much of a reason to stay here. So I'm just going to move it kind of like north, get it on the road. Maybe it can serve some sort of additional purpose up here. I was thinking down here, but it doesn't really need to do that. I don't want to get it too far away because this front will eventually expand again and we will need these troops over here. But it is tempting to send like 1 core up here and then get this one kind of cycling around down south, where I expect there to be more movement and more pushing for a good long while we kind of reorganize things. This garrison is already taking care of these, so these can now be taken care of by this pretty easily. It's up on the front, so next turn I might want to like give it some infantry weapons to make it safer, but I might just skip doing that as well. Apparently I can get 1 kill, no losses against this unit. I think I'll risk it. I've risked far worse today. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. I couldn't have done anything else, so might as well get it a kill and some XP. Weaken our enemies a little more, force them to reinforce something that they wouldn't otherwise have done, that could make them just sit there and sit still for a good minute. We're going to have a lot more mobility starting up here in the south. We're starting like a full-on offensive while still pushing in the north here. This is always silent, that's fine. And this push towards Chungking is just kind of going to quiet down for the time being while we get all these other things going. I think I've planned this enough verbally this episode, and you kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to do. I believe all the naval upgrades have been done. I don't see any more pending naval upgrades. They're good. I have 102 MPPs exactly. I know where these are going. These are going into amphibious warfare. Because we finished researching amphibious warfare. Getting that going up some more would be great. More amphibious transports, better attack values. Because we still will want to wage a war in the Pacific. We're gonna lose the DEI due to my European-focused strategy. That's a lot of MPPs. That's 75 MPPs a turn. So we need to get that back. We need to be aggressive. We have our Navy. We're gonna need to start using it. We're gonna want to take the Philippines. We're gonna want to go for like a lot of these other islands, probably. Maybe Australia. I don't know. Ideally, hopefully, we don't have to, but I'm just trying to think ahead as Japan. So Japan, fully taken care of. Cool. Let's take a look at the ocean. We didn't really take a full look at the ocean. For example, these fucking bitches up here that sank my destroyer. Now, unfortunately, I cannot predict the damage I will do to this heavy cruiser. It's out of my sight unless I move a ship up to sea. However, there's another one. There's several ships. My Navy's not ready for a fight. I haven't been upgrading it. I haven't been reinforcing it. But they keep responding whenever I try to defend this. They're so willing to stuff their surface fleet over here. I don't have maritime bombers. I have medium bombers. But I left them here for a reason. I think they'll finally get some use. My Navy, a lot of things I can send up are probably pretty similar to their Navy. I can assume that this heavy cruiser is going to be pretty similar to this one. And I could try to gank this one a lot more easily. So let's start with the bombers then. Let's attack. 4 damage dealt, 2 taken. Okay. Oh, right. I totally forgot there was a fucking battle cruiser here, bro. That's crazy. I did not remember that at all. And I still don't know the status of any of these things. Okay, then I'll take the other medium bomber and we're going to throw it at the battle cruiser. 4 damage dealt. Oh my god. Okay. I don't really know how this is going to work out, but the Bismarck. I don't want to reenact history, but if I move you here, I can sink the fucking renowned battle cruiser. I'm gonna do it. Ah! It got away. 5 damage dealt, 1 taken. That's not too bad anyway. I can still sink it. It's just not going to be easy. I could also probably very much injure this. I don't have enough things that are, like, upgraded. So, like, we're going to be fighting at a disadvantage no matter what. Because I'm not ready. I know the Tirpitz is not going into battle. But I'm going to reinforce it up to max. Because the Brits might, like, double down here. I wish I could see how well a strafing run would do here right now. I really wish I could see that information. All right, let's play. Let's move out with the destroyer. Let's move out again. Okay, I could sink this with a destroyer, potentially. As for this, I do have another heavy cruiser that's pretty much good to go. Ooh, those odds are too even, man. But we would still be dealing more damage than we lose if I did this. So, let's do it. 3 damage dealt. 1 damage taken. Oh, that's really, really nice. Okay, what if I put you here? 1-to-1 either way. Okay, I might still be able to pull off 2 kills here if I send out something that's otherwise not exactly ready. Probably won't want to risk a battle cruiser, but like a heavy cruiser, 16 action points. We have more than enough to like go check. I'm gonna move the Prince out of the way. Let's send the Admiral's Sheer forward. Oh yeah. Yeah, not upgraded, but we can maybe get the kill. Oh my god, wait, I can maybe get this kill with fighters. I'm gonna try it. Yes! I got the kill with a fighter strafe, bro. That is an enemy battle cruiser renown dead. Let's try the Admiral's Sheer now. 2 damage dealt. Nice, and no damage taken. They may have killed one of my destroyers, but I just got one of their heavy cruisers and a battle cruiser in exchange for 1 damage on a battleship, a heavy cruiser, a bomber, and 2 damage on a bomber. All recoverable with some light reinforcing. What did they just lose? What was that? Let's put that into perspective here. Like, what does reinforcing cost? Not that much. Like, what is this? 15, 30, maybe 60 MPPs total to reinforce, and like barely any wait time, and I get to keep all of this. They just lost 275 from a battle cruiser and 250 from a heavy cruiser. That's not even including the fact that those things were upgraded. That's amazing. You're going back into port. Everyone's going back into port where you can recover and end up getting upgrades. You guys did a great job, and I'm so happy for you. I am going to upgrade these battle cruisers now. 28 MPPs each for AA and naval weaponry. Because like I said, they might be back. They might leave now because I don't have any destroyers out in the open. You know what's scary? I only have one destroyer left out here to counter their subs. What's the standard ASW value? Well, actually, motor torpedo boats start with a much better value than destroyers do. Even without it. Attack value of a destroyer against a sub is only 1. For motor torpedo boat, it's 3. I mean, they're gonna get slaughtered if something bigger comes up, but look at the difference. Like, I lost a 175 MPP destroyer to that surface attack. Now, to be honest, I don't think I could have really predicted that with my information, my knowledge, and my experience. I didn't really have MPPs to spare. Germany's MPPs were always doing things that are very important and helping me accomplish my goals. This naval fight is really tertiary because I'm not going to use big naval tactics and I'm not going to invade the UK. I don't need to win. But I am tempted to pick up a motor torpedo boat. May, June, July, August. Takes only 3 months to build as opposed to a destroyer which takes way longer. Just for the exclusive purpose, like 1 or 2 of these, would be cheaper than a destroyer. Just for the purpose of responding to threats here, because I might lose this destroyer too. Not that the destroyer has any other purposes anyway to fulfill. It's just the torpedo boats are cheaper replacements. And there's more of them. And maybe it would be even better at getting a response from them that I could then take advantage of and destroy their stuff. And maybe that would convince them to spend more money building more ships instead of reinforcing land things that are actually in my way of winning. Right? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. But I have managed, with a mixture of strategizing in Japan, to fill up this episode completely. We still have a couple more naval things to do in the Atlantic, and we have to take care of Italy before we can hit end turns. This is going to be a very long turn. A lot of thinking needed here. But I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.